All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to cut right through all the noise surrounding high-end creative laptops for 2026. You know, as a creator, your laptop is everything, right? It's your most important tool. And picking the wrong one, well, that's a mistake that can cost you big time. We're here to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
So let's jump right in with the big one. The question every single creative professional faces: should I get a gaming laptop or a design laptop? I mean, they look so similar, and they both have these crazy powerful specs on paper, but trust me, choosing between them can literally make or break your entire workflow.
And that's the trap, right? They've both got the flashy lights, these super impressive spec sheets, but they are built for completely different worlds. You could pick the wrong one, even if it's the most expensive, top-of-the-line model, and it could just bring your productivity to a grinding halt. Seriously.
Okay, so let's really dive into this. We're going to break down the fundamental trade-off between these two categories of machines, because you really need to understand what's going on under the hood.
Look, it all boils down to one simple thing: priorities. For designers, it's all about flawless color accuracy. What you see on that screen has to be what comes out of the printer, no exceptions. Plus, they need a ton of VRAM, that's video memory, to handle massive files like 8K textures, without the whole thing just lagging out. But gamers, totally different world. They care about fluid motion, instant response. They'll happily trade a little bit of color precision for a buttery smooth, high refresh rate, and absolutely zero input lag.
Okay, but what if you're one of those people who does both? Maybe your work demands both those pixel-perfect visuals and just raw, brute force computational power. Well, that brings us to what I like to call the ultimate hardware stress test.
And that stress test? It's game development. Honestly, it's a completely unique field. Why? Because it forces you to run some of the most demanding software on the planet, all at the same time. We're talking a 3D modeling program like Blender, your code editor like Visual Studio, and then the beast itself, Unreal Engine 5, all chugging away simultaneously, pushing every single component to its limit.
And no, that's not an exaggeration. Think about it. Just playing a game or just editing a video taxes one or two components. But building a game, it slams the CPU, the GPU, the RAM, and the storage, all of them, to their absolute breaking point, all at the same time. This high-stakes scenario is the perfect way for us to understand why every single component in your next laptop matters so much.
All right, so to make sense of all these different parts, let's use a simple analogy, a metaphor that really shows how they all have to work together in perfect harmony. I want you to think of your laptop as a high-performance professional kitchen. To cook up the perfect creative meal, whether that's a game, an animation, or a design, every single part of that kitchen has to be top-notch. So let's go ahead and assign a role to each of our key components. First up is RAM. Think of RAM as your countertop space. It's your active workspace, right? The bigger your countertop, the more ingredients and projects you can have out at the same time without everything getting cluttered and slowing you down. These days, 32 gigs is really the new standard, but if you're a pro working on massive AAA game levels or training local AI models, you're going to want that huge 64 gig countertop to keep things flowing smoothly.
Next, we've got the GPU. This is your stove. It's the real workhorse of the kitchen. It does all the heavy cooking. We're talking rendering complex 3D scenes, calculating that incredibly realistic lighting with tech like Lumen and Unreal Engine, and even running powerful AI models right there on your machine. The GPU isn't just for graphics anymore, folks. It's the engine for your biggest, most demanding creative jobs. And who's running the kitchen? That's the CPU, the master chef. It's the brain of the whole operation, orchestrating every single task. And now, in 2026, the best chefs have a new secret weapon, a dedicated assistant called a Neural Processing Unit, or NPU. Think of it like a specialized sous chef that handles all the little background AI tasks, which frees up the main chef to focus on the big stuff. The result? Your entire workflow stays incredibly smooth and responsive. And finally, we have the SSD. This is your pantry. It's where you store all your ingredients, your assets, your textures, your project files. And if you have a slow pantry, the whole kitchen grinds to a halt waiting for ingredients. It's a massive bottleneck. That is why, in 2026, you absolutely need a super fast NVMe drive, one that's pushing speeds over 12,000 megabytes per second. Seriously, anything less, and you're going to feel that stutter and lag every time you try to load large assets.
All right, so our kitchen is all set up. Now let's talk about a brand new piece of tech that's about to basically turn our stove, the GPU, into a rocket engine.
And that new tech is NVIDIA's new RTX 50 series, which is built on something called the Blackwell architecture.
Now, I want to be clear, this is not just another small incremental update. No way. For creators, this is a truly revolutionary leap forward and what a laptop is even capable of doing.
So, there's one number I want you to remember, 6. As in 6x. That represents a potential 6-fold increase in performance, all thanks to Blackwell's new AI-powered frame generation tech. That isn't just a leap, it's a mind-boggling jump in performance.
So what does that actually mean for your day-to-day workflow? Well, it's all powered by some really cool tech called DLSS 4.5 and that frame generation feature, all running on new super-fast GDDR7 memory. Basically, the AI can intelligently create brand new frames from scratch. So get this. It can take a choppy 30 frames per second render preview and transform it into a perfectly smooth 180 FPS viewport. This lets you work with photorealistic lighting in real time, get instant feedback on your changes, and just drastically cut down your final render times. It's incredible.
All right, so we've laid out the problem, we've built our perfect kitchen, and we've seen the absolutely game-changing new tech. Now, let's put it all together and help you find the perfect machine for what you do. Okay, so what's really cool about this chart is how it maps your specific job directly to the hardware that matters most. So if you're a game developer, you'll see the priority is tons of VRAM and a powerful multi-core CPU, something like a top-end i9 with an RTX 5080. Now, if you're a software developer, you can focus a bit more on RAM for all that multitasking, paired with a really solid RTX 5070. For graphic designers, it's all about that perfect color accuracy, which is where an Apple M-series chip or an RTX Studio laptop really shines. And of course, for the pure gamers out there, it's all about pushing that refresh rate to the max with a beastly RTX 5090. And this brings us to probably the biggest single choice you'll have to make: Apple or PC. On one side, you have Apple's Silicon, where their unified memory is just incredible for video editors. It lets the CPU and GPU share one giant, super fast pool of RAM. But, and this is a big but, if your world is Unreal Engine, Blender, or really any serious AI work, you have to look at NVIDIA. Their CUDA platform gives developers direct access to the GPU's raw power, and frankly, it's the industry standard and pretty much essential for that kind of work. So let's get to our top picks. If you are that game dev or 3D artist who needs just absolute maximum uncompromised power for those heavy-duty Unreal Engine 5 renders, well, the MSI Titan is your machine. It's a top-tier choice, a true desktop replacement beast. However, if your world revolves around 8K video editing, motion graphics, or any kind of high-end design where perfect color is absolutely non-negotiable, then the Apple MacBook Pro is still the undisputed king. Seriously, its display and its battery life are in a class all their own. And what about for those of you who need to find that perfect balance between portability and power? Or maybe you're a student just getting started. We've got you covered. These two models are fantastic options. The Asus Zephyrus G16 is amazing because it gives you that sleek professional look, but it's hiding some serious RTX power inside. And then you've got the Lenovo Legion, which just offers incredible bang for your buck, making it a perfect entry point into the world of coding and 3D modeling. You know, at the end of the day, all these specs, all this technology, it all serves just one purpose: to unleash your creativity. The real goal here is to find a machine that's such a perfect partner that it just vanishes into the background, letting you focus on bringing your ideas to life. Your next machine isn't just a tool, it's a partner. So the only question left is, what will you create with it?